Now that the number of coronavirus cases in the United States has surpassed 1 million, reporters want to know what Trump thinks about some of his previous statements about his predictions about the number of cases at this point in the country. Let's hear what he has to say.
President, today the U.S. hit a grim milestone of 1 million cases of the coronavirus. Back in late February, you predicted that the number of cases would go down to zero. How did we get from your prediction of zero to 1 million?
Well, it will go down to zero ultimately. And you have to understand, when it comes to cases, we do much more testing than anybody else. So we could go to some of these other countries, as an example, China. If you test, you're going to show many more cases. So we're doing more testing than any other country in the world by far, which we just discussed over in the Oval Office. So we're going to show more cases because we're doing much, much more testing, double anybody else. Somebody said if you add everybody else combined, that would be a number. And it will be at the appropriate time. It will be down to zero, like we said.
Yeah, what's the problem with that response? I don't understand.
We'll get down to zero eventually. That's what I meant. Except
eventually.
That wasn't what you meant. You meant that we would be at zero at this point in time. And what is the appropriate time to get down to zero? By the way, like you said that at the very end, like we'll get down to zero at the appropriate time.
And he also said, and that'll be a number. And I don't know what he means. Yeah, when he said that, he said very soon it'll be down to zero. And I think a lot of reasonable people thought he meant, well, at some point in the life cycle of our sun, it will balloon into a red giant, thereby consuming the planet we live on. And under those circumstances, disease can't exist. That's what I assumed he meant.
I also like that he's conceding that the more you do testing, the higher the coronavirus cases are likely to be.
Yeah.
Here's the problem, though. We don't do more testing than any other country. In fact, we still do not have widespread testing available.
Yeah.
Look, I wasn't going to share this with the audience, but I'm going to, because it is what it is. And I think it's an important experience to kind of highlight how much of a liar Trump is. I started feeling very sick over the weekend, and I was worried that maybe I have it. I don't know. So I took Monday off to go see a doctor. First of all, contacted the doctor and was not willing to see me in person because she was a little concerned. Like, if you do have it, I don't want, but would not provide a coronavirus test because I am not showing enough symptoms to qualify as someone who gets a test.
Yeah.
They have to make these decisions every single day because the tests are not widely available. And I'm in California. California's taken this seriously. They're a little more prepared than a lot of other states. And it was impossible to get a test.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, I get it. If you don't have enough tests, you have a higher threshold before you'll give someone that test. But the thing is, like, that's what we were hearing at like late February, early March. It's the end of April and you still can't get it. Like at the beginning of March, Trump was touring some factory and it was like, anybody that wants to get a test can get a test. That has never been true. It is still not true. We have no idea when it'll be true that even if you're sick, that you'll be able to get tested, even in an area with a lot of cases. Like LA is not New York, but LA is also not, it's not Utah. Like there's a good number of cases here. You still can't get tested.
Exactly. It's just he is not fit to be the leader of the country. I mean, he's not fit to be the leader of anything. He's not fit to be the leader of his own household, No, and
I don't think he is.
No, and he's not, definitely not. And he just lies. He just lies every single day. And the thing that frustrates me when I watch these press conferences, aside from his nonstop lying, is like reporters treating him like he's just another president, like, oh, like I get it. They have to show him respect or else he's going to be a baby and he's going to cry and he's probably going to revoke their credentials. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. But like Mr. President, sir, like he's trash. He's trash.
Yeah.
I guess that's the reason why I'm not in that room. I couldn't do that job. I can't pretend like he's someone deserving of respect when more than 60,000 Americans have already died from this virus, more to come because of his incompetence and unwillingness to take it seriously from the get-go.
Yeah, and you started off by responding to his talk about testing, and the more testing you do, the more likely you are to both get an idea of how many people are actually tested or actually infected, but also the number will thereby be higher. And I'm glad that he acknowledged that there, but let's also acknowledge that he has not only fought sort of implicitly behind the scenes to keep that number artificially down early on, but explicitly he was saying, I don't want those people coming ahead and raising the number. It's not our fault. Why should we double our number as a result of that? He's been aware since the very beginning that with more testing, the number will go up, except that he sees that as a bad thing. Not bad that more people are infected, but bad that we know about it because it looks bad for him, even though it will be necessary for us to do far, far more testing than we've done so far to be able to get back to anything approaching normal. And for someone like you or like me, where our first concern is not re-election, that seems like a good place to get to. But for him, if being dishonest about this, if that results in a few more deaths, as long as some of them aren't being counted, that's hardly the worst case scenario.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.